Let's call this meeting, we'll call this. Pardon me,
Oh, she forgot to turn.
our city clerk is off today. We're gonna call the meeting to order. We're gonna call this meeting to order. This is the regular city council meeting for February 7th, 2023. Can I have a roll call, please?
Councilman Bumpus,
Here.
Councilman Blair, Councilman Carter,
Here?
Councilwoman Davy.
Here.
Mayor Gillis,
Here.
Councilwoman Harris,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Martin.
Here.
I'd like to make a motion to excuse Councilman Blair, he is out of town.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and support to excuse Councilman Blair. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Can we have a moment of silent prayer? All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I need a motion to approve this evening's agenda.
Make a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We have one presentation tonight. We have two Nice Neighbor Awards given out during the presentation tonight. One goes to Mr. Jim Musson, and the other goes to Pastor John Gregg from First Evangelical Lutheran Church, and they will be presented by Councilman Michael Bembas.
Hi, I'm gonna start by reading, the notes here, and then we'll get everybody out. In spring 2021, the first blessing boxes were installed in the Elginak. The blessing box concept was created in 1953 by a Christian Women's Fellowship Group as an honor system food pantry where people in need can take food and others can easily donate non-perishable food. The blessing box provides 24-hour access to free non-perishable food items, basic toiletries, baby supplies, and anything else that might be considered a blessing to someone in need, with the motto, take what you need, leave what you can. Since then, the idea has spread to dogs and dog parks. With that, I'm going to ask Mr. Munson and Pastor John to come up.
Are you surprised?
I'm going to start by telling you guys a little bit of the history. Now, Mr. Munson, you were 30 years a teacher?
33.
33 years.
Almost as much as him.
I was gonna say, a shop teacher.
Yeah.
And, you know, fortunately for us, he's used his skills to help Elginak. Now, everybody knows Gail Anthony, and we were talking one day over coffee, and I said, Gail, wouldn't it be nice if we had a blessing box for dogs in Elginak? I said, Gail says, I know somebody. I said, it's not a rush, Gail. You know, it's winter, you know, we'll get there, we got time, see whatever. So I tell Gail it's not a rush. Next day, I talked to Mr. Munson. He says he'll do it. Okay. And then I tell Gail, well, tell Mr. Munson it's not a rush. Okay, 2 days later, it's all ready. Come and get it. So I appreciate your dedication. And so I want to read this to you guys. Let me put down too many papers here. Get myself situated here. The city of Elginak presents a certificate to Jim Munson and First Evangelical Lutheran Church, Pastor John, is with great appreciation that we acknowledge the kindness of others and the donation of the blessing box to the city of Elginak Dog Park. The box will be available to all residents and will help provide items that support the care of dogs. We are grateful for your extraordinary skill, enthusiasm, generosity, and willingness to make a difference in our community. So we've got these 2 awards for you. I'll give you guys the right one. There's yours. Thank you. And let's open it up so our city manager can get some pictures.
Photo op.
Okay, why don't you guys stand in the middle here so council can get behind us and get some pictures taken. Come on, slide on this way.
Okay, see, there's nothing for you to knock down right now. See, so I get to see, you can't knock anything down.
All right, that's it. All right, choose everybody.
Jeez.
Thank you.
And if I could ask, there are members, I mean, you couldn't do it without your wife and daughter and Gail's support and Michelle.
Oh,
Would all you guys from the church come on up, all the supporters, because, you know, it's the connections of people. Without me knowing Gail, I wouldn't know Mr. Munson.
Family.
You know,
Come on,
and,
guys.
you know, and then
Get
even,
everybody.
you gotta get everybody together.
Well,
everybody from the church.
I know, right?
Okay. And I know, Michelle, in her part of hearts, already brought dog food to put in there. And it's almost springtime, so we'll be selling duck tickets, and of course, we got
We got quite a crowd going here.
duck-based
This is
dog
awesome.
food. That's okay.
Yes, you do.
Good, are y'all in?
No, I can't do that. It's just a few of us.
Yep, how nice. All right, thank you, guys.
Thank you. This is Pastor John, and since almost everybody here is from the church, you already know him. But I was talking to Pastor, and starting this Monday, we are taking donations for the new clothes bank, or clothes closet, whatever you want to call that, First Lutheran Church. I've only known Pastor John for a few months, but the energy he brings to the community and just that go-getting attitude, I recognize, I appreciate, I'm sure the members of the church do. And I'm excited to work with him getting this clothes bank started. So if you have a few words about it.
Yeah. There or here?
Well, here, you can,
Okay,
yeah.
it's been a privilege and an honor. I get to serve the Lord, and our calling that I proclaim is that we're to love God and love one another, and we do that by serving. And so I'm blessed to be able to serve among a group of people that, with one day there's an idea of a blessing box, 2 days later it's there. Thank you, Jim. But there's lots of other things as well. And so we continue to ask and interact with the community to find out what some of the needs are. We have our community dinners that we combine with the Methodist Church around the corner, and we provide meals once a month on Wednesdays for that, and the third Wednesday, and also other opportunities as we can. And as we looked around, we saw that there was a need for a clothing bank. There's a food bank at the Methodist Church, and so Mike and I started talking, and we're going to start this off on a small scale and see where we can go with that, so that there's an opportunity for those in need in the community. And if there's other needs, please feel free to contact me, or if you have an idea of how you would like to serve somebody, please feel free to contact me as well. We have some resources that we can be behind you and support you as we seek to serve one another in the community.
Thank you, Pastor. Now that I know you do woodwork, I'm thinking of other ideas. Thank you.
That comes in handy.
Yes.
All right, next up, we have public comment. If anybody would like to speak before the council, you have 5 minutes. The council typically will only respond if necessary. So, if anybody would like to speak?
I would.
Oh, yeah.
Want me to come
Yeah,
up here?
please step up to the podium and state your name and address.
Okay. My name is Linda Lee Lasher, and I live at 304 Colonial Lane in Alpena. I received this letter about ice or snow or whatever on the sidewalk. And I was a little confused because there is not a sidewalk on my street. And, but the thing that really made me angry is I received it on the 1st February. And this nice little letter says if I don't take care of it by the 2nd, I'll get the city will do it and I'll be charged for it. So they give you 1 day to take care of an issue when the ice was about this thick, which was caused from the truck that does the streets, that dumps it on 29, that little sidewalk there. And I'm supposed to take care of it. That's my husband. He can hardly walk, let alone try to take care of ice that is very thick. I tried to get rid of it and couldn't, so I just said, screw it. Send me a bill, I'll pay it, I guess, I don't know what else to do. But my point is this is how you treat seniors. I get it, I understand it now. If you don't like seniors, we can move and go to a place that will accommodate the seniors. That's one point. The other point is, why couldn't you just knock on my door and said, can you get somebody to get rid of that ice out there? And you know how cold it was, you couldn't even stand outside. And she's telling me to get rid of the ice that's this thick, that is in the street. There was some up on the sidewalk, granted, but it was more in the street than in the sidewalk, and I didn't do it. Whoever did the streets did. So that's my comment. I'm just really disappointed in Algonac. Just really, this made me angry. To give someone 1 day, and they never did come by and do it. When it started to thaw, I went out and got as much off as I could, so it wasn't blocking the street. But if it snows again and turns to ice, and the truck comes by, it's gonna happen again. So you can put me on your revolving list to send me a bill if that's what's gonna happen, because I can't always do it. I had back surgery and I broke my back, so I shouldn't be shoveling at all, but if I have to, I will. If that's what it takes to make the city happy, and not sending a letter like this that is not acceptable. I don't know who she is, but I just think that's how to do. So if you don't have a comment, you don't have a comment.
If you could just stay after the meeting, maybe we could look at it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow, yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else that would like to speak before the council?
You'll never invite me again.
Now.
I just wanted to reach out to council. We do have these things, they're called community dinners, and I would, like to invite all of you to come as well. They're the 3rd Wednesday of each month from 5 to 6:30. It's good food, and it's for a donation, but you'll have an opportunity to meet other members of the community. And we're really trying to push this year as a community event, and to try to get an opportunity for you to talk with members of the community, and we're trying to get them involved, and we're gonna be inviting some of the other groups as well to participate, like Rotary and that. So if you're available, I leave that out there for you. Thank you.
Can I ask you one real quick question? I have a
Chicken
13-year-old.
pot pie.
Yeah, because now my husband, well, of course. I have a 13-year-old who needs Honor Society service credits. You guys need me to throw
I'm sure
your
we
way?
could help with that, yes.
Yes.
Write this down. And it's gonna be on video, so I can show it to the board and say. Thank you so
All right,
much.
thank you.
Thank you so much. Anyone else? All right. Public comment is closed. Next up, we have the city manager's report. Mrs. Gerstenberg?
Thank you, Mayor Gillis. I do have a manager's report this evening. I'd like to begin by reading the letter that we received from our attorney, Jim Downey. You have that on your desk today. I received this yesterday. So this is regarding parliamentary procedure issues concerning motions to rescind. So I read the letter. Dear Ms. Gerstenberg, Councilmember Davy made a motion to rescind at the January 17th regular meeting concerning the City Council's adoption of a nuisance resolution last month regarding property located at 927 Washington. Her motion was ultimately tabled in order to consider more deliberately some of the issues it raised. You have asked me to offer a legal opinion on the parliamentary questions her motion presents. There are several issues indicated, and I address each in turn. Number 1, a motion to rescind is governed by Robert's Rule number 37. Councilmember Davy correctly cited the authority for her motion to rescind the December 20th, 2022 nuisance resolution adopted by City Council concerning Washington Street. She also correctly noted that a 2/3 vote of members present was required to approve her motion where no previous notice of it had been given. However, because notice of the motion has been given in advance of the February 7th regular meeting, Rule number 37 requires only a majority vote of the members present to adopt the motion. Number 2, there is a conflict that exists in the City Council's organizational rules. Rule number 1 of the City Council's organizational rules states that Robert's rules shall be considered the official guide of council. This is in contrast with Rule 7, which states in pertinent part as follows: a motion shall be rescinded by a 2/3 vote, which is 5 votes, of the entire council. This provision conflicts with Robert's Rule number 37, where notice has been provided. Where the City Council's organizational rules conflict, I believe that Rule 1 should prevail and that the requirements of Robert's rules should govern. As to the consideration of Council Members Davies' motion to rescind because notice has been provided, only a simple majority and not a 2/3 vote is necessary to adopt. Robert's Rule number 37 provides a more liberal means of passage for a motion to rescind where notice has been provided than City Council's original Rule 7. I think such a conflict must be resolved in favor of the more generous rule for adoption, particularly where Rule 1 adopts Robert's rules as the City Council's authority for parliamentary procedure. City Council might wish to consider amending its organizational rules, particularly 1, to state that Robert Rules governs except where explicitly indicated otherwise. If such an amendment were adopted, any future conflicts would be resolved in favor of more stringent requirements such as Rule 7. Item number 3, the issues underlying the December 20th nuisance resolution are nearly resolved. A practical concern for City Council to examine is that since January 17th, the issues that existed at the 927 Washington Street property giving rise to the adoption of the December 20th nuisance resolution have almost all been resolved. There remains a car parked on the lawn in violation of Code Section 50-40. In other words, the adoption of the nuisance resolution had the desired effect of largely bringing the property into compliance with city codes. When Councilmember Davies' motion to rescind is brought off the table on February 7th, City Council must consider that its December 20th nuisance resolution is almost entirely moot. This leaves council members with 2 options as I see it. 1, they can vote against the motion because the nuisance that existed at 927 Washington has nearly been completely abated and the December 20th resolution is now largely irrelevant. Or 2, they can vote in favor of rescinding the resolution as a means of effectively expunging it, retroactively rewarding the property owner for the large measure of compliance that has been achieved. I note that if City Council were to adopt the latter view, it invites more of these rescind/expungement motions on all similar future cases, and arguably on past cases as well. As a matter of consistency, if the motion to rescind were adopted, City Council would prospectively need to rescind all other such resolutions once compliance is achieved on other distressed properties. This is a policy determination for City Council to resolve. Number 4, motions to rescind are infrequently made and generally correct errors in the record. The motion to rescind brought by Councilmember Davy on just January 17th is the first any of my municipal clients have considered in my nearly 30 years of law practice. More common are motions to reconsider or renew. These motions are generally brought as a result of a change in the composition of the board that considered the original motion or where a factual development has occurred. A motion to rescind may be brought for any reason by a council member, but it seems the best use of such a motion is to correct a factual error in the previously adopted motion. For example, if a resolution misidentified a person or a street address, a motion to rescind is an effective way of correcting the erroneous factual record. In the present case involving the December 20th nuisance declaration concerning 927 Washington, the facts on which the resolution was based were undisputed. There was no error of misunderstanding underlying the City Council's decision to adopt the resolution. What has changed is that there have been attempts by the property owner to bring the property into compliance. The policy implications of adopting a motion to rescind in the case are important and deserve careful consideration by City Council. If a motion to rescind were adopted in this case, it would seem to suggest, wrongly in my view, that the factual basis on which the December 20th resolution was considered was incorrect. If City Council were to adopt a motion to rescind in this case, I think consistency requires that any and every time City Council adopts a resolution to compel compliance with the city code, it must consequently adopt a similar motion every time the property owner achieves compliance. This invites the creation of a perpetual cycle of motions to rescind that are not correcting errors in the record on which the original resolutions were based, but rather as a means of acknowledging the corrective action the original resolution compelled. City Council must determine whether creating such an endless loop of enforcement and expungement is the best use of its resources, particularly, and maybe most importantly, where no error exists in the factual predicate giving rise to the original resolution. If you or any individual council members have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact me. Very truly yours, James Downey.
Mrs. Kirstenberg, I believe Mr. Downey has another engagement this evening. So if any members of council would like to ask Mr. Downey a question, because I know he has to leave.
Thank you, Mayor, I appreciate your consideration.
Does anybody have any questions on this letter or anything further to the attorney? Thank you, Mr. Downey.
So disappointed.
I'm glad to be here to see everyone.
Tell your kids I said hi.
Will do.
Thank you, John.
Mr. Gerstenberg, do you have a further we'll give everybody.
We mustn't get this meeting.
Everybody's going with is everybody going with the attorney?
There's something to think about.
Did you have a further report?
I do, Mayor Dallas, thank you. I'd like to provide a Spark grant update. As you know, we applied for a grant from the state of Michigan for the pool. The awards were supposed to be announced by end of January. They have not yet been made, but the announcements are expected very shortly. Our engineering consultant, Omaroth & Clark, has provided preliminary plans and the cost estimate needed for our second round Spark application, which is the Lions Park Pathway. And our proposed third round project, replacement of the Riverfront Park Boardwalk, is currently in process. The HRC's geotechnical consultant recently completed the soil borings, and the final report will be completed shortly. I have, property 2553 St. Clair River Drive. This property was on the council agenda on December 20th for abatement of the nuisance. The 21-day period to complete the cleanup has expired. The owner has made some progress, and the city has granted another 30 days to complete the cleanup before filing in court. 1823, this was the illegal tent shed that went to council on December 20th. The 21 period to complete the removal has more than expired. However, an attorney for the owner has contacted the city and promises the shed will be coming down shortly, so the city has not taken further action. 425 Green Street, this property was on the city council agenda January 17th. The owner has asked for and received 6 months to complete the needed repairs.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions for Mrs. Gerstenberg?
City Manager Gerstenberg, I'm excited about that grant. So if and when you hear something about it, like, please text us right away.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, can
Okay?
you?
Please don't wait.
Please-
We're eager.
Yes, please.
Absolutely. If we get $1 million grant, I will tell you immediately.
Thank you.
All right, moving on, we have the consent agenda. Our consent agenda consists of the city council minute meetings from regular minutes from January 17th, 2023. We have miscellaneous business of set the budget schedule for fiscal year 2023-2024 and to authorize the bank signers. Can I have a motion, please?
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll support.
Comments, questions, or concerns? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We have no unfinished business, so we're gonna move on to new business. Item A is to adopt ordinance amendment to chapter 4, amusements and entertainment, article 3, special events.
Make a motion to adopt an amendment to chapter 4, amusements and entertainments, article 3, special events.
second.
Comments, questions, or concerns? Hearing none, can I have a roll call, please?
Councilwoman Davy,
Yes.
Mayor Gillis,
Yes.
Councilwoman Harris,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Martin,
Yes.
Councilman Bembas,
Yes.
Councilman Carter.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Next up, we have item 11B, to consider the request to rescind abatement of nuisance resolution 2022-16 for 927 Washington Street, which was postponed from the January 17, 2023 meeting. On January 17, 2023, the following motion was made, motion by Blair, supported by Martin, to postpone request to rescind abatement of nuisance resolution 2027 on 2022-16 for 927 Washington, approved December 20th, 2022 until Tuesday, February 7th, 2023. We have a resolution attached that was unanimously approved by the City Council on December 20th, 2022, and was drafted by the City Attorney. The resolution provides City Council with historical information noting the 43 times that St. Clair County has investigated incidents at 927 Washington. The resolution also states that the property remains non-compliant with city codes as of November 2022, referring to those codes related to blight. The resolution does not specifically address each code violation. It refers to a broad nuisance category. For example, improper storage can refer to the dual axle trailer stored on the property and/or unregistered vehicles parked in the right-of-way. The property owner had made no contact with the city until the City Council meeting of 12/20/2022, and they only contacted the city attorney upon receiving a letter from the attorney notifying her of the meeting. Nuisance abatements are only sent to City Council when the owner fails to apply or to contact the city to discuss remedies. If the owner abates the nuisance prior to the council meeting, the city staff will advise council of such and request that the item be removed from the agenda. Upon approval of attached resolution, the owner has 21 days to make the nuisance before city court action is filed. Extensions can be granted if the owner is making progress. Circuit court action is only filed when the owner fails to make progress or communicate to the city. As of January 24, 2023, the property is compliant and no further action is needed. However, the registration from the vehicle in the right-of-way expires in February 2023, and it has been noted that tarps appeared on the garage roof sometime between August 2nd and September 14th, 2022. The tarps are still there, and if the roof is not fixed in a timely manner, the vehicle registration expires and is not renewed, and it is likely the property owner will receive a future notice this summer. The motion to approve resolution 2022-16 and declare 927 Washington Street a nuisance within the bounds of the code section 34-18 and permit the city attorney to pursue abatement remedies in the St. Clair County Circuit Court was appropriate. The property owner has received notices of code violations and never contacted the city to discuss remedies. As a result, the city attorney was engaged to pursue resolution via circuit court. Now that the property is compliant, there is no need to seek circuit court relief. Legal action is only pursued when the property owner fails to comply after 21 days or other mutually agreed upon time period. The code officer inspects the property the day of the council meeting. The city manager provided update at the meeting. Can I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to deny the request to rescind the abatement of nuisance resolution 2022-16 for 927 Washington.
I'll support. I'm gonna open up discussion. At this point, I feel that the council, we made a decision on December 20th, and the property owner has complied. So I feel that the ask was right, and I stand by my decision that evening.
Mayor, if I could ask you a question.
Yes.
Listed here are two other instances that in the future, there's a concern might be a problem. If they do become a problem, my understanding, please correct me if I'm wrong, is that you start from square one. What we passed before does not apply to these new things, and we're not going just straight to court.
Correct.
So,
And if I may, she had received a notice, I wanna say a week after, we voted on the resolution regarding the, Camaro that was parked, stored on the property, or she had gotten a thing saying that it was unregistered or inoperable, which she had told me that neither was the case. But that was separate, so that wouldn't fall into any
Right,
of this.
that's what I was
Yeah.
asking. It would be my hope that, and maybe, we already do that through the city. Do we send notices or to any of these people to say, thank you? You got your stuff fixed, you're no longer on our list, for lack of a better word.
Mrs. Gerstenberg?
Thank you, Mayor Gillis. Councilman members, we do not send thank you notes when the case has been closed.
I think it's something to consider, we don't necessarily have to say thank you, but just to say, we recognize you put forth an effort. The items have been taken care of, and at that point, you fulfilled what we asked, and we no longer have any plans on taking it to court for those items. Just so that there's some closure for the, I was gonna say customer, for the citizen. And I think that would, if we were to do that, it would just bring closure.
Sure.
And I believe, and I don't wanna speak for, Councilwoman Dawn, but I think that's what she was kinda aiming for at the time.
And if I may, listening to and going back through what, the property owner had stated that evening, one of her biggest concerns was, and she had said it over and over again, was a lack of communication. And that's been something that's come up several times, by residents during public comments. And I would hope that going forward, and Denise made to break down for the two that we have tonight, I believe, of breaking down how many, how the contact was, helps us, instead of, yeah, they didn't contact us, and then the property owner saying, yes, we did, in a whole thing. And we've got these things that we need, that we're voting on. But then we get to a part where don't take this wrong way, but he said, she said, and I don't wanna make decisions like that. Having, these broken down for us with dates of when they were contacted helps immensely. In my perfect world, I would love to find a way to make it easier for people to call and get in touch with code enforcement. I know that Mike had mentioned, or Rocky had mentioned, when they send emails to CC, all of us. There's people that just, they get a letter, and the first thing they wanna do is pick up the phone and call somebody. They're not gonna first thing, I'm gonna sit down and send an email.
Mrs. Gersten, are you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Mrs. Gerstenberg, I know we do have a new system, and you have a new system in place that somebody will answer the phone, correct, for code enforcement?
Thank you, Mayor Gillis. Yes, we have had that in place. So, the code enforcement, all of the letters have the code enforcement's, her email is on there. But people can call the front office, and our office clerk is she has access to all of the records on her computer. She can help anybody who calls. And if they ask for Lori, she tries to help them. And then she says, if they wish to leave a message, she tells them, okay, she will not be in until such and such a day. So if you wanna leave a voicemail message, she will not be in until such and such a day. The best way to get a hold of her is to email her, because she can pick that up from wherever. So there is somebody always available to answer the phone. And we have started now that the clerk in the front office is documenting every time somebody calls.
Oh.
So for those people that say that they call, we are now documenting that. many people say that, and I'll tell you, I get very, very few calls.
I know I received an email, last week from a resident about a situation, and so I was able to be on top of it and was able to give the resident the resolution that they were looking for, so I think it does help if you do email, carbon copy anybody that sits up here.
Yeah.
Because it does help with, or Mrs. Gerstenberg, because it does help with the communication.
Yeah.
So, any further discussion?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I concur with what, Councilman Mimbus and Councilman Davy, I think, Woman Davy, excuse me. I think communication, and I agree that maybe some type of just abatement, maybe not a thank you, but some type of a notice that stops the uncertainty, because we're hearing that people think they've taken care of things and they're not sure, so definitely, communication would probably help with a lot of the concern and, confusion that people are having.
Any other discussion?
I have a comment, and that is that since the last meeting, I have had conversations and found that the city attorney and the city manager would not want these issues to go to court. They want to see them solved by the residents and taken care of. And we don't want to send things to court if we don't have to. And that was made clear to me.
And I believe I speak for myself, and I think most of you agree that none of us want to see our residents go to court. We just like to see it complied. All right, any further discussion? Can I have a roll call, please?
Mayor Gillis,
Yes.
Councilwoman Harris,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Martin,
Yes,
Councilman Bembas,
Yes.
Councilman Carter,
Yes.
Councilwoman Davy.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries.
Pardon me, I usually scroll faster than this. I usually scroll during the vote. If anybody has a song or dance routine they'd like to use right now, it'd be great. All right. Item 11C is to approve the abatement of nuisance resolution 2023-05 for 534 Howard Street. The city attorney has requested the city council to declare this property nuisance per city code 34-18 so that enforcement can be initiated in St. Clair County Circuit Court. Nuisance abatements are only sent to city council once the owner fails to comply or contact the city to discuss remedies. If the owner abates the nuisances prior to the city council's meeting, the city council staff will advise council of requests that has been to have it removed from the agenda. Upon approval of the attached resolution, the owner has 21 days to debate nuisances before a circuit court is filed. Extensions can be granted by the city attorney and code officer if the owner is making progress. Circuit court action is only filed when the owner fails to make progress and or fails to communicate with the city. There have been multiple code violations investigations at this property since June of 2019. The owner has never contacted the city. Investigations by the code officer indicate the property appears vacant. Only one unit of water has been used since October 2021. The son of the owner contacted the code officer by email one time in October 2022 in receipt of the notices. The code officer inspects the property on the day of the meeting. The city manager could provide an update, attaches a resolution for the city council agenda. Can I have a motion, please?
I lost my page. I just wanna do it for you. Make a motion to approve resolution 2023-05 and declare 534 Howard Street a nuisance within the bounds of code section 34-18 and permit the city attorney to pursue abatement remedies in the St. Clair County Circuit Court.
I'll support.
I'll open up discussion on this one because I know that Mr. Downey and Mrs. Gerstenberg spoke. Mrs. Gerstenberg?
Yes, Mayor Gillis, so, the property owner was here earlier today, and, Mr. Downey and I spoke with him, and we had not had contact from him until this evening, and he agreed to, meet with the code enforcement officer to go over exactly at his house what needed to be done, and that he felt he could have it cleaned up within 60 days.
Any other discussion? Can I have a roll call, please?
Councilwoman Harris?
Are we voting so that, yes, and then the 60 days they're given on top of this?
Yes.
Okay, yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Martin?
Yes.
Councilman Bembas?
Yes.
Councilman Carter?
Yes.
Councilwoman Davy?
Yes.
Mayor Gillis?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 11D is to approve the abatement nuisance resolution 2023-06 for 351 Center Street. There have been multiple code investigations of the property since June 2022. Issues include dead trees, unkept yard, unregistered boats, outdoor storage, and lack of overall property management. The owner contacted the city once in June 2022, stating this is their primary home, but they're living in Lexington to fix it up. As of January 10th, 2023, there has been no change to the property, and there's only been 1 unit of water used since July 2022. The code officer inspects the property on the day of the meeting. The city manager can provide an update at the meeting, attaches a resolution for city council approval. Can I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2023-06 and declare 351 Center Street a nuisance within the bounds of code section 34-18 and permit the city attorney to pursue abatement remedies in the St. Clair County Circuit Court.
Second.
I'll open up discussion again. I spoke to Mr. Sapp at the beginning of this meeting, and then I spoke to Mrs. Gerstenberg. He is asking for a 6-month extension.
Mayor, has he asked that to you or to the city manager? Or?
He asked that to me and the city manager.
So is our vote gonna include the 6-month extension on
Yeah.
it? Okay. Just asking.
Any other discussion?
When we give that extension, are we giving a specific time frame for each item, or are we giving a clean slate and they just have 6 months to get it done? Is there a progress report that they have to provide?
Mrs. Gerstenberg?
Thank you, Mayor Gillis. We would work with them over that time period, and if they are making progress and request more time, we would work with them on that.
Well, my concern would be 5 months and 29 days, nothing's happened. And then they start everything, not them particular, but, anybody. Are we expecting when we make these 6-month agreements that, okay, by the end of first month, the unlicensed vehicle needs to disappear, or are we just giving them open-ended, we're not gonna even talk to you for 6 months?
Mrs. Gerstenberg?
Thank you. Councilman Bembas, usually we get with that property owner and work out a plan with them. And they let us know what they can do over the 6-month period and how long it's going to take to complete those items.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Can I have a roll call, please?
Mayor Pro Tem Bembas?
No.
I'm sorry, Mayor Pro Tem Martin.
Yes.
Councilman Bembas.
Yes.
Councilman Carter.
Yes.
Councilwoman Davy.
Yes.
Mayor Gillis.
Yes.
Councilwoman Harris.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, item 11E is to approve professional audit service from McBride Manley, Certified Public Accountants. On April 21st, 2020, the City Council approved a proposal for professional audit service from McBride Manley following a bid process. McBride Manley was the current auditor and has satisfactorily provided audit services to the City of Algonac since 2014. The 3-year proposal includes an optional 2-year extension at the same rates provided both parties agree. The fees include all audit services, preparation of Form F-65 and municipal qualifying statements, Act 51, reporting and water rate report. At the request of Treasurer Mackey, the city recommends taking advantage of the option to continue at the same rates. 2023 would be $36,469.76. In 2024, it would be $37,563.86 for a total of $74,033.62. Can I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to approve professional audit services from McBride Manley Certified Public Accountants, whose address is 1115 South Parker Street, Marine City, for all-inclusive services for an additional 2 years as provided in the 2020 proposal at a rate of $36,469.76 for 2023, $37,563.86 for 2024, for a total of $74,033.62.
Support.
Comments, questions, concerns? Hearing none, can I have a roll call, please?
Councilman Bembas?
Yes.
Councilman Carter?
Yes.
Councilwoman Davy?
Yes.
Mayor Gillis?
Yes.
Councilwoman Harris?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Martin?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 11F is to approve water plant saw grant funds for office equipment for $25,417.57. The Stormwater Asset Management Wastewater Program was established in 2013 to help municipalities develop, update, and improve asset management plans for their wastewater and stormwater systems. Communities use the funding to create asset management plans to help save money, better provide services, and to inform their ratepayers on the current and future needs of the city. Algonac was awarded a SAW grant in 2019. Eligible expenses under the SAW grant include the purchase of equipment to assist utility workers in the field, and office-like plotters, office printers, sanitary sewer line locators, computers, tablets. We have a list attached with the of equipment proposed to be purchased from various vendors. 90% of all costs are reimbursed through the SAW grant. The estimated cost for the total equipment purchased is $25,417.57. The amount that we are going to get reimbursed through the SAW grants, 90%, is $22,875.81. The total cost of the city after the 90% reimbursement is $2,541.76. Can I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to approve purchase of eligible equipment in the estimated amount of $25,417.57, 90% of which is to be reimbursed through SAW grant as presented.
Support.
Comments, questions, or concerns? I would just like to say that I thank the administration and the water plant department for figuring out all the ways that we can maximize this $1 million grant, since most of the work is done that as a part of the SAW grant. Anybody else? Can I have a motion, please? Roll call. Sorry.
Councilman Carter?
Yes.
Councilwoman Davy?
Yes.
Mayor Gillis?
Yes.
Councilwoman Harris?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Martin?
Yes.
Councilman Bembas?
Yes.
Motion carries.
I'm just trying to throw you off your game since you're working solo. All right, next up is item 11G, is to approve water plant purchase of water meters for $40,753.65. The city of Algonac uses Neptune water meters to monitor customer water uses. Ferguson used to send the water plant 4 meters per week. Due to the pandemic and related supply chain issues, the regular shipment became a trickle and then ceased, severely depleting the water meter inventory. After meeting with Ferguson in August 2022, Ferguson recommended placing a bulk order. The water plant placed an order for 350 meters. A portion of the order is now available. Attached is an invoice for 185 water meters in the amount of $40,753.65. Ferguson is a sole supplier for Neptune meters in the Midwest. Can I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of 185 water meters to replace the depleted inventory at the water plant from Ferguson Waterworks, whose address is P.O. Box 802-817, Chicago, Illinois, 60680, in the amount of $40,753.65.
Support.
Comments, questions, or concerns? Hearing none, can I have a roll call, please?
Councilman Carter,
Yes.
Councilwoman Davy,
Yes.
Mayor Gillis,
Yes.
Councilwoman Harris,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Martin,
Yes.
Councilman Bembas.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Next up, we have accounts payable. Can I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to approve accounts payable and payroll in the amount of $290,700.79.
Support.
Comments, questions, or concerns? Hearing none, can I have a roll call, please?
Councilwoman Davy,
Yes.
Mayor Gillis,
Yes.
Councilwoman Harris,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Martin,
Yes.
Councilman Bembas,
Holy cow.
It's
Yes.
just for one of those nights.
Councilman Carter.
Yes.
Well, Tony
Motion
says
carries.
she can't ever do that.
Right. How dare you let Lisa take
Yeah,
the
how
day off?
dare you, yes.
Didn't she have a vacation last year?
Yeah, it's just a thing.
Can we have the items for the next agenda?
Thank you, Mayor
Yes, yes,
Gillis. We will have a SAW grant presentation by Hubble Rockland Clark and a contract for actuarial services.
All right, council comments, Councilman Bembas.
Thank you. Just to reiterate, First Lutheran Church is starting their closed bank. You can drop those off there Monday, every Monday, 10 to 2, I'll be there. And I'm sure Gail is gonna be there too, for moral support. Or you can drop them off at my house, 1713 St. Clair River Drive. And even though I can't tell you, you all know where I work at. You can drop them off there as long as you don't tell the whole world. I think it's a really good endeavor. It's needed. I know other people have done it in the past. They just don't have the time to do it. Well, I kind of do, and there's a lot of support at the church, and we want to make it, a really good thing. And First Lutheran Church is very supportive. They looked at it and said, well, if we have a food bank down the street, maybe we should have a closed bank. And at that point, I was like, I'd like to work with you guys on that. So I'm looking forward to that. Okay, on March 2nd, doors open at 5 p.m. We have the Algonac Alive as a cowboy barbecue dinner with line dancing. And Mrs. Babette, niece or whoever, instructor, is teaching line dancing. I've never been line dancing, but I'm sure as heck gonna try. They're gonna have both kinds of music, country and western. And we're having barbecue from Slows in Detroit. It's a very famous barbecue place. I don't know if anybody has been there, but really good. So I have tickets, City Hall has tickets, everybody I hang out with has tickets. You know where I work has tickets, so come get some tickets. If you live in Algonac, I'd even be happy to drive them out to your house.
Write that down.
To give you tickets.
Write that down.
So hope to see everybody there. Should be a good time. It supports what we do in Algonac Alive. It also supports the VFW. And what better way to support our veterans by going out and having a good time and line dancing, or having a good time watching other people line dance. Thank you.
Councilman Carter.
Thanks everyone for coming. Congratulations to Mr. Musson and Pastor John. Thank you for what you do for the community. This Saturday, the 11th, at the Pearl Beach Lions Club, the Henry's Club Junior is having a glow club dance for youth, children. It's from 6 to 8 p.m. and it's to support the hygiene cabinet at the elementary schools. So anybody that can come, it's $5, and parents can drop the kids off and pick them up in 2 hours right before Valentine's Day. I just want to make a comment, something I noticed this week and how much I appreciate. Friday night, it's been quite cold. I think all of us have realized we'd run to our car, hopefully it's warm, and then run back in the house. Friday night about midnight, I was coming home and just thinking, dreading going in the house. And I always take a cruise through the city before I leave. And you know, I saw something that I think we underappreciate and take for granted. You know what I saw? I saw 2 of our firefighters coming back from a medical run. And I just want to express, and I think we all do, what appreciation, and we don't want to take them for granted. It's just awesome that behind the scenes where we don't even realize it, they're working and going out in the cold and sacrificing to take care of us, and we appreciate it.
Councilwoman Davy.
Mine's gonna be actually short and sweet tonight, but to follow up on what, Councilman Carter said. It's 5 o'clock in the morning and they came to take my daughter to the hospital at 5 o'clock in the morning and being scared to death. I remember Joe telling me, cause I walked out there and didn't have shoes on, and he told me to go back in the house and get some shoes on. So yeah, what they do, I don't think, unless you've been helped by them in the middle of the night, we don't quite understand what it is that they do, and that we should all appreciate. Because thank God if we don't need it, but thank God they're there for those who do. We have the auction coming up. We don't have any more tickets left, but the amount of support that I've received from every single person that I have hunted down over the last 2 weeks has been amazing. And to that end, we are going to start getting some solid programs going for, we're gonna do some things for the children who with developmental impairments. My goal is to focus on the adults who lost a lot during COVID and who need to get back some social and recreational activities. So very soon, we will have something to put out there to get some people together and play some cards and go bowling, and we're gonna get it done. Thank you.
Councilwoman Harris.
Well, thank everybody for coming and congratulate Pastor and Mrs. Craig for everything you do, and Jim Musson also. And thanks for coming by tonight. Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Martin.
Yeah, I want to send out a thank you also to our nice neighbors, Jim Musson and Pastor John Gray from First Evangelical Lutheran. Got it. Thank you.
I'm glad it wasn't just me.
It's a thing, it's Lisa's fault. It's all it is. It's Lisa.
I would also like to send congratulations to Mr. Musson, who I did have as a teacher. I think I had him for science, and to Pastor John in the First Evangelical Lutheran Church.
First Lutheran.
First Lutheran. First Lutheran. Let's just go with that. I ran into some Coast Guard guys off the Nia Bay, and those guys were. I was talking to them, and those guys were telling me. First of all, I didn't realize that Algonac is a rare port. They don't have as many. There's not that many ports that they stop and they dock, and Algonac is one of the very few. And most of the time they stop at Coast Guard locations. But they said Algonac is the only, there's like 2 or 3 other towns that they stop in that's not a Coast Guard location. We're the only town where the fire department goes out and helps them dock their boat. So Chief Dillon, I'd like to say thank you for that. They said that Algonac is well known throughout the whole, through the Coast Guard community for a few things. Greg Bilecki and the dog Princess. They always greets them. Chief Doan and Snoopy's. So they said it's always something that they enjoy about our town. And I just thought it was quite a great compliment. And we don't realize how lucky we are just to be able to sit here. And I know Mrs. Gerstenberg and I were sitting in her office yesterday, and we saw the Morro Bay come in and dock, and we get to see that all the time, and I think it's just kind of a cool thing for us. So, I'm very proud. I don't think I have anything else, so at this point, motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.